Millbrook, New York, is the kind of town where people still wave at strangers and kids ride their bikes down quiet streets until sunset. It's safe, predictable, ordinary. So when a beloved local nurse, 34-year-old Sarah Whitmore, vanished one crisp October morning, the town's sense of safety shattered overnight. And what started as a search for a missing woman soon unraveled into something darker, a tangled web of love, lies, and jealousy that would expose how even the kindest hearts can hide dangerous secrets. Sarah was the kind of nurse everyone remembered. She stayed late with frightened patients. She baked cookies for co-workers. She volunteered at the free clinic on weekends. If you asked anyone in Millbrook who the nicest person in town was, most would have said Sarah Whitmore. She lived alone in a cozy cottage on Elmwood Drive, with ivy climbing the porch rails and a garden she tended every morning before work. She was quiet, private, but always kind. That's why, when she didn't show up for her 7 a.m. shift on October 12, 2021, people immediately knew something was wrong. At first, her friends thought she might have overslept. But when calls went to voicemail and her front door stayed locked, panic spread fast. Her supervisor drove over to check on her. Sarah's car sat in the driveway. Her coffee cup was on the counter, still half full, still warm. Her phone was charging on the nightstand. Her purse, keys, everything, untouched. But Sarah was gone. No note, no sign of a struggle. It was like she had simply stepped out of existence. Police arrived within hours, combing the house and the surrounding woods. Nothing. No footprints. No forced entry. No answers. And in a place as small as Millbrook, that kind of mystery doesn't just disappear. It eats at you. Detectives began with the obvious theory. Maybe Sarah had been the victim of a random act of violence. But the evidence didn't fit. Nothing was stolen. Nothing broken. So they dug into her personal life, and that's where the first crack appeared. Friends described her as dependable but distracted lately. One co-worker finally admitted that Sarah had confided in her. She'd been seeing someone married. His name was Mark Danner, a local contractor, husband, father of 2. When police questioned Mark, he admitted to the affair but insisted it was over. He said Sarah had taken it well, claimed there was no bad blood. But Sarah's phone records told another story. Late-night texts filled with tension, apologies, and heartbreak. She hadn't moved on, not yet. And then came a witness statement. A neighbor had seen a dark pickup truck parked outside Sarah's home the night she disappeared. The porch light flicked on just before midnight. Mark drove a black Ford F-150. Detectives searched his truck. Hidden in the grooves of the bed liner, they found faint traces of blood. Forensics later confirmed it matched Sarah's DNA. Mark said it was from an old accident, that Sarah had once helped him haul lumber and cut her hand. Maybe it was old blood, but detectives weren't buying it. Then came something strange. Surveillance footage from a gas station 15 miles out of town. It showed Mark's truck heading toward the woods at 12:07 a.m., the same night Sarah vanished. Yet his phone data placed him at home by 12:30 a.m., and a neighbor's doorbell camera backed it up. So if he wasn't in the truck, who was? The answer came from a place no one expected, from Mark's wife, Jenny Danner. Jenny had always been quiet, polite, invisible almost. People described her as gentle, maybe even shy. But behind that calm surface, something was boiling. When investigators pulled her phone records, they found deleted messages between her and Sarah, messages that reeked of pain and desperation. And one, sent the night before Sarah disappeared, read, "We need to talk, woman to woman." Location data placed Jenny's phone in the exact same area where the truck had been seen that night, and later, where Sarah's body would be found. When detectives brought her in again, Jenny broke down almost immediately. She told them she'd known about the affair for months. She had tried to forgive her husband, tried to hold her family together for the kids, but she couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't let go. That night, after reading one more message from Sarah, she snapped. She grabbed her husband's truck keys and drove to Elmwood Drive. She said she only wanted to talk, to beg Sarah to end things for good. But words turned to shouting. Shouting turned to pushing. And in one blind, tragic moment, Sarah fell. Jenny panicked. She checked for a pulse, found none. Then, terrified and disoriented, She loaded Sarah's body into the truck and drove into the woods, where she buried her under a layer of pine needles and leaves. She thought no one would ever find her. For 3 long weeks, the town searched. Volunteers combed fields and creeks, hoping for any trace of Sarah. Then, a hunter in Pine Hollow Woods spotted something unnatural beneath the leaves, a flash of fabric. Within hours, detective confirmed what everyone had feared. Sarah Whitmore had been found. Jenny Danner was arrested at home that same evening. In court, Jenny wept as she confessed. "I didn't mean to hurt her," she said. "I just wanted it to stop." She was sentenced to 25 years to life for second-degree murder. Mark moved away soon after, taking the children with him. Their old house sits empty now, its windows boarded, its lawn overgrown. As for Millbrook, it never really recovered. People stopped leaving their doors unlocked, stopped trusting the smiles they once took for granted. Every October, the nurses at Millbrook County Hospital light candles in the courtyard, one for every year since Sarah's death. They remember the friend they lost, the woman who gave so much to others, and the secret that took her life. Because in the end, the tragedy of Sarah Whitmore wasn't just that she died. It was that her kindness, the very thing that defined her, led her straight into the path of someone else's heartbreak. And in that quiet town, they learned something chilling. Evil doesn't always come from the shadows. Sometimes, it comes from the person standing right beside you.